football world loves a sudden pivot, and this one feels like a jolt. Sources in Catalonia say West Ham United have edged ahead in talks to bring 19-year-old Hector to England on a loan deal. A move that could be signed off within days, as clubs scramble to finalise business before the window slams shut. The raw fact is simple. A promising fullback from La Masia, barely into adulthood, is being courted beyond Spain. But the layers beneath that simple sentence stretch deep into both club strategy and a young player's career arc. Fort is the kind of player scouts circle on spreadsheets. Quick, positionally aware, and schooled in Barcelona's possession-first DNA. Yet still raw enough that regular senior minutes are the essential missing ingredient for his growth. At 19, training with giants but scarcely guaranteed the pitch time he needs, the logic of a loan is clean. Consistent first-team football, exposure to a different tempo and physicality, and the chance to return to Barcelona with a sharper edge. For West Ham, it's an opportunity to add youthful dynamism to a squad that has shown willingness to back young talent this summer. And for Barca, a loan is a practical way to relieve roster pressure while keeping control of the player's future. This isn't an uncontested chase. Across recent reporting, other clubs, including Everton, Italy's Como, and Mallorca, have been linked to Fort, illustrating how coveted a La Masia graduate can be when first-team minutes are on offer. Those parallel interests raise the stakes. West Ham's apparent willingness to push hard for the deal has put them at the front of the queue, but the presence of multiple suitors means a last-minute pivot is never impossible. Still, the narrative thread that keeps recurring in the coverage is Fort's own preference. He reportedly wants a loan, not a permanent sale, with an eye on returning to Barcelona, stronger and better equipped to fight for a first-team place. That ambition frames the move as one deliberately designed around development, not an offload. There are practical breadcrumbs too. Catalan outlets have noted that Fort missed a recent training session as talks intensified. A small but telling sign, clubs often read as evidence of an imminent departure, and an indication that the player and club are keen to conclude matters quickly. For Barcelona, tying up exits helps ease registration headaches and opens a little breathing room for the squad. For Fort, the attraction is twofold. A likely wage bump and, crucially, the minutes on the pitch that will determine whether he becomes a one-season wonder or a long-term first-team option. In short, what looks like a single transfer is actually a hinge for multiple futures. Player, selling club, and buying club all have something to gain. Tactically, a move to the Premier League will test Fort in ways La Liga does not. The physicality, speed of transitions, and differing defensive demands can accelerate a young defender's learning curve, sometimes painfully, sometimes fast-tracking them to readiness. If Fort lands at West Ham, expect managers and fans to judge him not by Barca-style possession wizardry, but by tackles won, recovery runs, and the blunt metrics of a league that punishes hesitation. Yet that same environment offers a crucible. Survive and adapt. And a loanee can return a considerably more complete player. For Barcelona's long-term plans, that outcome is ideal. The club keeps the asset, gains experience, and potentially reintegrates a player who can contribute at a higher level than before. What happens next is straightforward and urgent. Negotiations are reportedly at an advanced stage, with timelines measured in days rather than weeks. Paperwork and medicals looming once clubs agree terms. If the deal is signed, it will be a crisp example of how modern elite clubs manage talent. Patience with a development arc, but pragmatism about immediate squad composition. If the move falls through, expect other suitors to re-enter the frame quickly. Transfer windows have a way of reshuffling priorities at the last minute. Either way, for fans watching young talents emerge from Barcelona's famed academy, Hector Fort's next chapter, whether in London or elsewhere, will be one to follow closely. This is more than a line in a transfer ledger. It's a test of how clubs convert potential into performance, and of how a single season in a different league can recalibrate a teenager's trajectory. Fort's loan would be a statement. Barca still believes in him, enough to loan rather than sell. West Ham believes he can contribute now. And the Premier League once again demonstrates its magnetic pull for Europe's next generation. In the final days of the window, all eyes will be on signatures and social posts. But beneath that noise sits the quieter, more consequential question. Will Hector Fort return to Barcelona a changed player? The answer could ripple across both clubs for seasons to come.